What is going on, everyone? We are back for another UFC card collab this weekend, heading into the UFC 307 event. I am here with probably the hardest working and most popular UFC card content creator out there. Obviously, super appreciative to have Zach from Box Alarm Trading here with me. Zach, how are you, mate? What's been going on?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing good, Damien. Thanks for having me on, man. Always good to see your hologram hologram face.
Yeah, with
That's an
no.
inside joke.
No, that's an inside joke, but just to share with the people, it's no secret here over at Main Event Cards. We have some technical problems pretty much every single time, but we'll get through it. And the content is there. That's what I like
Oh
to
yeah,
hope
baby.
to tell the people. But yeah, obviously every time we get together, this is great. But we have all the usual segments, the fan favorites this week around as well. But I thought we would start it off, Zach. We have some viewer questions, mate, and not
Yeah,
just
this is
one,
awesome.
not just two. We have a
Boom.
record-breaking three questions.
Triple champ.
This is this is an absolute record over here for us at the collab. So we will already put it out to you guys. Get us in the comments down below. Comment down on the
Mhm.
video if you do have some questions you want us to answer on upcoming episodes, because we will be doing it
Oh
regardless.
yeah.
If you don't make up questions, then Zach or I will just make them up ourselves. But we love your questions, so keep them coming. But Zach, we're going to get through these ones to start off with. At Nobody Collects, he asked a question on the last collab on my channel. He wanted to know quickly, more likely, are we to see Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler, or are we more likely to see John Jones versus Aspinall? Obviously, this was before the news that Michael Chandler was going to be fighting at Madison Square Gardens against Charles Oliveira. But what do you think, Zach? Which one's more likely to happen out of these two fights?
I don't think we ever see Connor fight again. I was positive, I was glass half full, I was optimistic guy on this last fight that they were trying to set up, and I was like, we're finally gonna see Connor again. Like it's gonna happen. And then, obviously the toe injury happened. He didn't end up getting booked with him and getting to the main event, right? But after that, man, I have 0% faith that we'll ever see Conor McGregor again. So obviously I'm gonna answer that. Jones versus Aspinall. Now, do I think we're likely to see that either? Probably not. I mean, John doesn't want that fight at this point in his career. It's not really necessary. It's a lot of risk. It's very little reward, honestly, if you really kind of just try and look at it objectively. Um, and obviously it's a super tough fight from a really dangerous guy, a young, hungry guy versus, an older vet at the very tail end of his career coming off of some bad injuries. The Stipe fight obviously makes way more sense. They're at more of a similar area in their career. And Stipe also has the name recognition of best heavyweight ever for a lot of people on that list. So maybe something crazy happens. Stipe falls out. Maybe Jones finally just says, you know what, let's do it. I don't want to wait any longer. And maybe that gets a run. So I would definitely lean Jones versus Aspinall. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. And I think no one's more personally butthurt about Conor not fighting Chandler back at UFC 300 or even in June more so than I am. Original Conor fan, bought some cards in anticipation for his return. And it's just been, yeah, it's just been a horror story since for Conor. I still have a little bit more faith. I'm a little bit more positive than you. I do agree. There is obviously probably a 50-50 chance we never see him again. But now, after this Chandler fight is booked with Oliveira, I honestly think the UFC want to cash out with Conor McGregor because I don't know if he resigns. I think he sees his last two
Yeah.
fights out on his contract. And I think UFC want to book him against Nate Diaz in a trilogy. And I think we honestly have a high chance of seeing that next year. Conor versus Chandler, I don't think ever happens now. And I'm with you. I don't think Jones ever is going to fight Aspinall, but at least there's a more chance of that happening with potentially Stipe pulling out of the Madison Square Garden event in November. That would be the only chance that we ever see Jones fight Aspinall, which, as I said, is definitely a higher chance than Conor ever fighting Chandler. Next up, this was an interesting question from my man Tiago Nunez. He wanted to know
What's up, dude?
what is the best older years for Tops UFC in our humble opinions. Zach, where you at with
Uh,
older Tops UFC?
I mean, it's going to be the obvious answer for me. The 2009 round one would be my number one pick. I love the history behind that product. all the rookies in that product. You have a ton of first autos from a ton of Hall of Fame people. You even have some just really interesting cards like Joe Rogan rookie, Dana White rookie. You know, you've got the refs in there. You got Bruce Buffer. So I just really like a lot of the different aspects of 2009 round one from a collectability standpoint and just from the cards themselves. Also, with all of all the first autos, I believe almost all of them are vertical cards, which to me makes a big difference when you're displaying and just looking at all your cards. So I think that's another big plus. The other one I was thinking about was 2011 Finest, and I really like the Atomic Refractor die cuts. I think those are. I'm not a huge fan of die cuts, honestly, but those are definitely my favorite of all of them, and I really like the reds of those. And then just from like the base card, I like the simple design with the little like cage on the border. I think those are pretty sweet as well. What about you, man?
Yeah, man. Debut Finest in 2011 was just a really like clean design. But I agree with you. It obviously this depends. You know, best older years for tops. So we're taking this from a collective point of view. We're taking it from
Right.
more of a speculative, potentially investing point of view. I I'm with you in terms of if I'm talking or recommending people, you know, what is the best year of tops to be buying now in order to see a better return in the future? It's got to be 2009 for all the obvious reasons. Then if from a collecting point of view, I love 2013. I don't think it's any secret now. I've mentioned it a fair few times. I think it's the best design for Finest. I love Finest. It's my favorite set that Tops have ever done. And I think it's also the best set for Bloodlines as well that
Mm.
I've seen design-wise. A lot of those flag parallels in 2013, just absolutely awesome. And then plus the rookie cast, my guy there, Max Holloway, along with Amanda Nunes, the female GOAT. So yeah, 2013 would definitely be my favorite Tops older years.
Nice. Yeah, and we got a couple leaks on the Finest too. So I know you're hyped about that. They look to be somewhat similar to some really old Finest cards. So hopefully we get some heat from Tops at the end of this year with that.
Yeah, we'll obviously we'll touch on that when it gets a little bit closer to the date, but hopefully we
Hmm.
see that come in before Christmas time. That would be maybe a nice hobby box for me to get for Christmas.
Yeah, dude, Christmas present.
Um,
Santa's gonna bring. You've been good this year. No coal. You get a Christmas present hobby box.
We'll see. All right, and then the last question that we want to get to. This one is a little bit. This one was more interesting. It is from
Mhm.
Motor Breath Blake. He wants to know what are our thoughts on getting into breaks and other related gambling when it comes to UFC cards or maybe sports cards in general.
Yeah, the landscape of collecting and of buying cards and of the hobby has and obviously I haven't even been in that long, but it's changed dramatically even since I've been into like buying into breaks. It was like weight class breaks. And then it kind of shifted to pick your fighter, which was even more of a gamble in my opinion. And then I saw people doing like random games and like races and like basically pure gambling. And to me, that is dumb. To me, that is very dumb and silly. Like to me, it's a big enough gamble already, me to be buying a hobby box because of the odds, right? Like there's a low percentage chance that you're gonna get the card that you want, but at least you're guaranteed autos, you're guaranteed parallels. So to me, the floor on that is a lot better than potentially getting skunked in some type of gambling game. And as far as whatnot goes, I'm not a hater on whatnot, but like personally, in my experience, I was not collecting strategically, and that's how I do want to collect. And I was kind of being frivolous with some of my buys. And whenever I would get that mail day in, a lot of those cards I didn't necessarily even love because of the addictive nature of winning auctions and just the how easy it is to bid on things and whatnot. So that's kind of my thoughts around that. What do you think, Damien?
Yeah, I've thankfully I've never actually got into Whatnot. I was super curious there for quite some time because everyone was just on Whatnot and everyone was talking about Whatnot. And I'm like, what is with this? Obviously, I knew it was an online auction platform, and I'm I was always curious. Thankfully, I never did because I even not so much now. Lately, I've been good, but before I wasted way too much time on eBay as it was. So to add
Yeah.
another selling, buying platform of Whatnot, where it's potentially, you know, getting hooked in for the addiction side of buying and selling cards. I think that was a great thing that I never did that. So thankfully, not only saved my wallet, but saved time as well, which is super
Yeah,
important. People, I
that's a
think,
great point.
sort of need to calculate how much time they're actually spending when it comes to cards and hobbies in general. But back to the breaking aspect, I was super lucky when I first got into UFC cards in 2022 and sports cards in general. I never had really much anything to do ever with sports cards before getting into UFC cards in 2022. So I had no idea what breaks was. And I was lucky in the fact that when I started off buying cards in 2022, I did buy into breaks, but I was buying into case breaks of UFC 2022 blaster boxes. Now, why I say I was lucky to do this, I actually went back through my eBay records in preparation for this. I spent $205 on blaster box case breaks when I first ever got into it, purely because I had no idea. I thought, oh, 2 cases, there's 20 bucks a case, that's 40 boxes. Like I've got a real high chance of getting like a colored prism or like an auto, having
Yeah.
no understanding of the
Mhm.
differences between blaster and hobby boxes. And I literally got skunked so bad on every single one of those breaks. I think the best card that I got that I was actually happy about was a fireworks insert for Sean O'Malley. And my Sean O'Malley spot, I think was $50 alone for that, 2 cases of of 2022 Blaster Prism. So I say I was lucky in terms of I learned my lesson really early
Yeah.
about getting involved with breaks and not getting a return. So thankfully, it's not really something I've done since then. I haven't really seen the point of it since then. And I've pretty much been on the straight and narrow when it comes to buying the singular cards that I want. But I think it's pretty obvious to a lot of people, as you said, the gambling aspect of it, the razzes that people do,
Yeah.
the duck races, and just these absolutely just silly, silly games that people will get in, even like stuff with repacks. It's getting
Mhm.
pretty obvious that like gambling is becoming a super like mainstream part of sports cards and collecting sports cards as a hobby. And it obviously, it's almost like a completely different thing. I would imagine there's people who are getting into sports cards for the first time, not for the sake of collecting them, but just for the sake
Yeah.
of having gambling and the chance at winning something cool. Like as I said, each to their own. People can do what they want with their money as long as they're being responsible. But yeah, I think it's becoming more and more each and every week. It's becoming a much bigger part. Which, as I said, to each their own.
Yeah. I completely agree, man.
All right. Thank you for the questions. As I said, get them down in the comments below, and we will be getting them over on Zach's channel for the UFC 308 collab, which will be coming up in only a couple of weeks because that event is right around the corner after this week's pay-per-view event. But you know what it is time for now, Zach?
Oh yeah.
It's the favorite one. It is trash, sell, hold.
That is trash. Oh, you gotta sell that. Hold.
All right. So for this installment of trash, sell, hold, I've gone a little bit more. It's a little bit duller for me. I think it's going to be quite obvious where I'm going to be heading on this one. But this was more about picking Zach's brain and where Zach is at the current. I think we're going to dive into the UFC bantamweight division because it only feels like yesterday that Sean O'Malley was the greatest bantamweight of all time. But nevertheless, no longer at the top. But we are going to be talking, and I want to see where Zach's brain is at, and maybe where your guys' brain is at when it comes to these next 3 bantamweights and their cards. We have first up the 2023 Gold Prism for Raul Rosas Jr. And we are putting that one up against the 2021 Gold Prism for the ex-champion now, my guy, Sean O'Malley. And then the last card that we're going to be deciding over is the 2021 Rookie Gold Prism for the new champion, the new king of the bantamweight division, Merab Dvalishvili. So, Zach, we are obviously going to go tit for tat here. We're going to start off with the selling. Which card are you going to be selling of these 3 options?
Yes, sir. We got a great division here talking about bantamweight. Super exciting. A lot of fun guys. And we got some movement now. We got some movement up around the top. O'Malley got beat by the Machine. Dude, honestly, a pretty lackluster fight. It was honestly somewhat anticlimactic. I mean, it was impressive from Merab. He did the game plan, but kind of somewhat boring. I do think we're starting with Cell. I do think that Umar is a terrible matchup for Merab. Basically, the perfect matchup. You would want a person who's going to be able to stifle Merab's wrestling and somebody who can batter him. I think Umar can do both of those things. I think the cardio is going to be not an issue. I think he's also maybe not better cardio than Merab, but has enough cardio to definitely, I think, withstand a lot of what Merab's going to try and dish out. I do like Merab's card here. I think it's funny personally. It's vertical image. To me, it looks like he's getting racked on the cage. What the? Whoa!
Whoa!
Is that fireworks?
You love this card.
What? Why does it do that stuff, man? But it looks like he's getting racked on the cage, which I think is hilarious, and he's screaming. Now I don't think I'd be able to get much for this, honestly. Comparing it with the 3 cards here, of the 3, this is probably the lowest sell. But I am selling this just based on the fact that I think the sell should be the second highest card that you want, and I think the trash should be the one that you least likely want. So as far as that ranking system goes, I'm going to go ahead and sell the gold rookie Merab.
All right. Yeah. No surprises there. I was wondering where you're going to be heading because, you know, now you got to trash one of these next 2.
I'll let you sweat it out, dude. Who am I trying?
And if I know you know what, this is the 14th collab we've done now. I feel like I might know you good enough, but we won't go there just yet, but we'll see. But now it's my turn to sell one of these cards. I think it's all obvious which one I'm going to be holding. It's actually a grail card for me, and one that you just never see ever come up. So then the next option, obviously selling. When we're talking about Merab, it was an impressive performance, terrible event to watch. But as you said, he did what he needed to do. He had the best game plan that you could possibly have. Sean looked absolutely terrible. I don't even want to talk about that fight because it still brings up too many bad memories. And then we have Raul Rosas Jr. He was, I think, one of the only 2 Mexicans. No, the only Mexican, I think, who won that actually.
That was crazy. That usually never happens.
Being the youngest UFC athlete to be signed ever at 17 years old, which is absolutely unreal. He's coming off, I think that was his 4th or 5th fight in the UFC. You're a bit of a stats guy, a little bit better. Obviously, he has had 1 loss, so he doesn't have the perfect O record anymore. Not a bad performance by him. I think he has a long way to go in order of prospects wise. I don't know if people are still prospecting on Raul Rosas as much as maybe they were in the start since before he lost to Christian Rodriguez. But I think of the 2, you know, if I've got to sell between him and Merab, I agree. The Merab image, it's a fun one. It's a much better looking card. It's a vertical one. But I just can't do it. I just can't keep them. I can't sell. I don't want anything to do with that Merab card. So I'm going to be selling the Raul Rosas Jr. Gold Prism. So, Zach, you've left me hanging long enough. We've got to trash one now. We've got to chuck one in the trash because that's where it deserves to be.
All right. This is where it gets dicey, man.
Which one are you throwing in the trash of these last 2?
And if we're going by monetarily, I think that's the right choice because you definitely get more for the Raul Rosas than the Merab. But I'm a man of principle. I'm sticking to my guns here. And when I'm thinking about what I want to trash, I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking 5-10 years down the road. Are these cards still going to have value? What card would I potentially want in my collection? And I am crystal balling and speculating here, so obviously it could go either way on this. And I might get flamed for this. I don't know if this is a popular opinion here, but I'm going to trash the gold Raul Rosas Jr. And he obviously just has the furthest to go, right? We yeah, I know you were sweating over there. Merab's got a belt. O'Malley's obviously got a belt. O'Malley's, I think, is going to have some really exciting fights here in the future. So I think long-term, O'Malley's still going to have some great matchups. Exciting guy, ton of popularity, has the star power. I think as long as he's there mentally in the game, I think he can still have some really good matchups long-term, and his value should stay because he has championship status. Raul Rosas, on the other hand, still has a long way to go. So because of that, I'm kind of just playing the numbers here. And then long term, I think he still has obviously the furthest to go to get to champ status, the lowest percentage to maybe be an all-time guy. So for that, I am trashing the Raul Rosas Rookie, Prism. Damien, where you at, man?
I'm glad we can still be friends after that, Zach. You know, you had me worried there for a little bit, and maybe I don't know you as well as I do, actually, as I thought I
Did you
do.
think I
So
was gonna trash the O'Malley?
we still got collabs to come. So you know, I'll learn a little bit more about Zach. Yes. So no surprise here, guys. I don't even need to waste time about explaining why and why not. All I want to say is Marab now joins the list of UFC's most current boring champions. We've got a few of them now there, guys. It's some people say it's dark days. I feel sorry for if Raquel Pennington wins this weekend. I mean,
That's a good point.
I'm actually fearful for Alex Pereira's shoulders because that is basically the whole company he has on his back at the moment. But no surprise. Marab, you're in the trash. I hate you, mate. I never want to watch one of your fights again. I think Umar, I agree.
Where's the hater hat?
I
Where's the
think-
hater hat,
I
dude?
not even worth the hater hat. Not even worth me putting that on. Marab, yeah, Umar's going to destroy you. And honestly, I think Umar has a long, bright future in that division now because to be honest, the way that Sean performed, even injury or not, was really bad. That was a terrible fight to watch, frustrating for any O'Malley fans. And I tell you what, I think there's way too big of a gap if he has even fully healthy for him to catch up with someone like Umar. What Umar did to Corey Sandhagen was unbelievable. So Umar runs that division probably for the next 10 years along with Islam. So anyway, so I'm keeping the O'Malley and hopefully I get it for a good price now because he might be ways off the belt.
Great point, man. Great point. It's a good time to buy if you're an O'Malley collector and an O'Malley fan for sure.
All right, Zach, it is time for my favorite segment of our collabs, actually. I really enjoy this one. It is time for agree or disagree. Agree or disagree?
That is the question.
So for those of you who may be new to agree or disagree or to these collabs in general, the person who is hosting the episode for the collab this time around is the one who brings the statement to the table. So that is me. And I'm bringing the statement that we are currently in the middle of the junk era for autograph cards. Now, by junk era, a lot of us are familiar with the time period of 1989 to 1996 was the junk wax era for sports cards in general. And I feel like we are in a similar time period with the amount of autograph cards that are just printed every single set. So, Zach, do you agree or disagree that we are currently in the middle of the junk era for autograph cards?
I think me and you are going to be pretty much completely on the same page with this. I 100% agree. I've thought this kind of for a long time, especially when opening products and like having the products in hand, ripping them. I mean, the autos really tend to hold little to no value and trying to flip on the secondary market. Even guys that you think you'd be able to get a pretty decent premium for, a lot of the time you don't. Personally, when it comes to collecting, I only want kind of 3 autos that I would even consider getting for my favorite people. Obviously, the first auto, that's going to be the rookie auto. I think the best collectability long term. Then you've got kind of the first relic auto or first mem auto. I think there's some cool collectability with that as well. And then you've got the first on card auto. So to me, those are kind of the only 3 autos that are really going to be personally that I would want to seek after at all, or that I would want to have in my collection. But I think the one good thing about all the overprinting of the autos is that it does make it a little more accessible for people, and the lower price point is fun if you're on a budget and you're collecting. Also, I think since Panini and Topps are really just printing autos to oblivion, there are a lot of fun auto sets that you could potentially complete, which I think is also kind of a fun thing. And you would have a really cool roster to look back on if you collected all those autos. But where are you on it, man?
You know, I actually really like that point and that you pointed out. It's great that you have like a criteria when it comes to the autos that you want for your collection, because I think that's really important for people to differentiate ways that they can sort of, minimize their targets for when it comes to buying cards, because otherwise you can get stuck all over the place. And so for you to be buying, first year rookie autos, or even, as you said, first year on card autographs, I think that's a really cool way to sort of block out maybe too many other cards that you're gonna buy, and then you realize, oh, why did I just buy this card? Which we've all done too many times. But yeah, like obviously there's just too many inserts and parallels, and they're all just have sticker autos now, and then it's not just it's not even just numbered sticker autos. We have base sticker autos. We have colored, non-numbered sticker autos. Obviously, it's the way that the companies now are making, hobby boxes, I guess, appeal to people by saying like they're the chase auto cards now are the new chase cards because it says right on the box 2 autographs per box for hobby boxes. I think, as I said, the fact that we have so many non-numbered autos, you mentioned, obviously you did a great video when you did with the knockout release, and I know that video is trending really well, so people should be checking out that video because you did a really good breakdown for the knockout product that's coming out. But
Thank you.
even knockout, this year's knockout, it has 5 different relic autos. So that's 5 different relic autos. Most of them are numbered, but as I said, they're numbered up to 199. Obviously, not every fighter is going to have a relic auto, but still, if we've got 5 different ones, and then you're putting that on top of the 8 different autos that we are getting for Topps Knockout, we have the AKA auto, we have the knockout auto, we have the attested auto, we have the Warriors auto, we have the full contact auto, we have the from the rafters auto, we have the dual autos, and we have the triple autos. And that's just for 1 year. That's just for knockout this year, let alone chrome autos, midnight autos, and all the other previous years. So I think, as you made the great point, if you're going to buy an auto, each to their own. And as you said, maybe it makes it a little bit more affordable for people who want to buy into an auto. But I really don't think that, because there's so many of us who just want to be buying a rookie auto, or as you said, a first year on card auto. All these other autos are just, they're just way too diluted. So I don't, even if companies were to minimize the amount of autos, I don't think it would be missed. I don't think it really would. It maybe would increase the prices slightly, but I think the chase of getting an auto, the excitement that people would get for getting an auto would be that much more, which I think would only be a better thing in general. But yeah, way too many autos just now, and I don't know if it's ever going to slow down, to be honest, because it's been like this for probably the last 10-ish years. But I hope it does slow down one time. But as I said, I don't think it'll happen because they're making it the chase card at the moment for products.
Yeah, if we go back to like 2020, the striking signatures, I mean, that was a sticker dump, and there was a billion autos in that too. I will say, just to kind of push back on the knockout autos, I believe there was only the relic autos were of 199, and I think almost all of them were of 99 and lower, and most of them were of 50 and lower. So like they're at least giving us a lower print run. And it has to be just logistically because they're on card, but
do you think we need 5 different ones, like 5 different types of relic autos? Do you think 2?
No. I mean, I'm in complete agreement. I just want to kind of balance it out in saying that although it is a ton of relic autos, as far as print run goes, I think if we counted it up, it would probably be less than other releases or the same amount.
Yeah. All right, so it sounds like we're both in agreement this week, which is it's a good one compared to last collab round.
Yeah, the flames were getting thrown last week.
Pay-per-view buys.
All right, we'll get into pay-per-view buys now. We'll do a quick recap before we get into our pay-per-view buys for UFC 307, which is this weekend, headlined by Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree. We will recap the UFC 306 event. I showed off a lot of O'Malley cards, a lot of O'Malley slabs that I was selling. Basically, I ran the gauntlet once again, ending the auctions after the event. I was getting plenty of traction, as I mentioned, those numbers, which is the fun thing, right? You run the gauntlet. This is what, it hasn't worked out for me yet. Actually, I've only done this twice now. Izzy lost, O'Malley lost. I won't be running. Maybe I should run the gauntlet when Holloway fights UFC 308, but we'll wait and see. But anyway, all those 4 cards, all of them selling.
Nice.
The buyer actually never paid for the IP auto for the rookie, so that one never got paid for. So obviously not sure if it was shield bid, or maybe the buyer, obviously after O'Malley lost, didn't want to borrow that card. So that was actually quite disappointing, because that was the most expensive out of all the cards. So I was hoping to get paid for that one. That one selling for the amount of $200.
Nice.
The silver flashback PSA Prism got up to $48. That got paid for. That one made $35, which I pretty much broke even on that one, to be honest. The 2018 Diamond, 2019 Diamond Refractor in a PSA 10, that one's selling for $83.50. I made $60 on that after all the fees. So that was actually a loss. I think I bought that 2 years ago for about 150. So that was a major loss.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yep.
That's surprising.
2018 Diamond Refractor SGC 9.5. That one was the second highest selling at $197.50. That one got paid for, thankfully. But I end up making, after fees and postage and everything, I made $150 for that card, which is basically, I think, what I paid for it 2 years ago as well. So that one was a break even. You had the Marab Silver Prism in the rookie 2021. How do we go? Crickets or?
No, dude, I actually sold it. I was very surprised.
What?
I was very surprised that sold. But I mean, it goes to show that when people win, people want their cards. And
Yeah, rookie cards especially. I think being a rookie, that one helped you out.
And
That's
I was
good,
really
man.
surprised. I sold it for $20, about $19.99. So it was like $15 or $16 take home. I don't remember what I paid for it. I believe this.
Didn't you find that in a public bathroom or something, that card on the floor?
Yeah, I found it in a truck stop bathroom, somewhere in the middle of the U.S. in some shitty bathroom. But I was surprised that's all. I was also surprised that my Shevchenko sold. So I actually sold both cards.
Oh, nice.
The story with the Shevchenko was that I bought it online on eBay. It had a bad print line across the bottom. So I obviously don't necessarily want to keep that one. I disclosed that in the listing. And I think I want to say I bought it for like 25 or 30. I ended up selling it for $7. So like, it hurts a lot, but at least I have good karma in that I'm not screwing somebody over, and hopefully they got a card that they will enjoy, and they got it for cheap. You know, that's a crazy buy-in price. It is a rookie card. It's a nice card besides the print line, but at least I moved both of those. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the how it ended up for this pay-per-view buy.
Nice, man. So you cashed up. So what do we got for UFC 307 this weekend?
Yeah, so for 307, I have two cards that I've already listed, and I have one that I'm on the fence on. I actually kind of want to get your opinion on this before I go that route. But the first one is the 2023 Prism Alex Pereira rookie card. It's the Pandora of 99. I did get that in the premium box set. It has 12 views, 2 watchers. I threw it up for like 75. Buy it now, so we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah, man. I think it's a rookie Prism. You know, it's numbered to 99. I think that definitely could be a seller. So I would see how you go fight week, but don't make the mistake that you did with the Mateusz Gamrot, for example.
Yes, that's a definitely good point. My other one was 21 Prism Kevin Holland silver rookie, which has 0 views, 0 watchers. I honestly don't expect to sell that one, but I figured I don't really want it. Might as well list it now. And just see what happens.
But to be completely honest, I didn't even know that Kevin Holland's fighting on this fight card, so that's probably why you've got 0 watches.
Yeah. And maybe if he puts on a good performance, I believe he fights Dolidze, who's a decent guy. It is at middleweight. He's going to be way smaller than Dolidze, and I would not pick him to win this. But if he does win this, maybe something crazy will happen.
Yeah, you got the right card with the rookie Prism. So
yes, sir. What do you got this week? What are you thinking?
All right, so I bought these cards a long time ago as well, actually, back when she lost. No, actually, I bought these after Amanda Nunes retired. I am sticking with the main event. I like to keep to the main event fights when it comes to these pay-per-view buys, because that are the two fighters. Sorry, not main event. This is a co-main event. But I like to keep either in the co-main or the main event there, where the most eyes are. But yeah, this is for the women's bantamweight title. And as I said, I bought these cards back when Amanda Nunes actually retired, because I thought Juliana Pena is in for a good chance to regain that title once again for the second time. So obviously it was probably about a year ago now. I bought these cards quite some time ago. She has not fought since she lost to Amanda Nunes. So that was probably a year and a half ago now. But I have her 2015 Topps Chronicles autograph, just a sticker auto, not numbered or anything, but I figured a nice autograph. It's a cool looking card. Obviously, it'll be up on screen now for the people to see. But I have hopes that from what I've sort of followed, autographs and rookie cards are the things that sell when fighters win and tend to, especially when it comes to title fights. So The other only card that I am selling is as 2015 as well. It's the Octagon of Honor. It's a base card, but I did get it graded. Looked in good, quiet condition. Got a PSA 9 for it. So unfortunately not a PSA 10, but you know, PSA 9 for a Topps Octagon of Honor from 2015. It's a second year. It's not a rookie card. It's a second year card. Once again, just a kind of a clean image of her older school looking image. PSA 9, I'm actually not hopeful. Even if she wins, I'm not hopeful this one will sell. I'm going to put these up as buy it nows. Actually, you know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm going to put the autographed at auction and I'll put the slab out of the buy it now and we'll see what happens with that. That way I've got two different, you know, case studies that we can talk about when we come back here for the UFC
Nice.
308. But yeah,
Some more
those ones
data.
will be up on my eBay for sale. Don't remember what I was into for those. I think the PSA 9, I think I was at $20 for that base, and then you know what is it, $21 for grading. So that one I'm at $40. As I said, I don't think I'll get back the value for that, but we'll wait and see. While the auto was somewhere around $30. So if she gets a win, put it at auction. Maybe someone gets a little bit bid happy, and I can get a break even or a little bit of profit for that one as well.
Nice, man. All right, I do have a question for you. So I have a 2023 Optic rated rookie Alex Pereira blue of 99. I'm thinking of listing that. I do like that card, but
Sell
if
it.
I was gonna sell it, that's kind of what I'm thinking, right? Like I don't love it.
Do an auction.
And, okay, auction it and see
Do
what
it,
happens.
man. Just run it. It's fun. Like
For after, what are you thinking? After, I think he's gonna win.
Do it for like as I did with the O'Malley's. I mean, it's a little bit harder for me to time because I'm in Europe and the obviously time zones are all
Right.
out. But I try and aim it for, you know, people are still awake. They just come off the fights. If you can do it for like half hour, either I would do it either half hour if you can time when the event's going to finish, somewhere in half hour after the event finishing. Obviously, that's the last fight of the night, or have it finished, you know, the next day, the Sunday, maybe in the middle of the
Right.
afternoon or something when people are just chilling. And you want to try and time it so when people are actually going to be on their phones, not some rent like Sunday midday when people are out, maybe having a
Right.
picnic or something like that. That's just the way I think about stuff, you know. Especially for auctions, when you want to get maximum value, you want to sort of
And it's a 5-day auction, right? So you're listing that
7-day.
when like 7-day, so just Sunday or
It is
it would be today,
yeah,
huh? Today or tomorrow?
be tomorrow. Oh,
Tomorrow?
for you to be today, yeah. Oh no, do it
Okay.
tomorrow. Do it. I don't maybe half hour after. I mean, yeah. You could try for just after the event, but maybe it's super hard and it's probably quite late when the event finishes. So maybe people aren't staying up too
Sunday.
much. Like maybe do it for a Sunday afternoon. So just do it Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
It's a 7-day. You can do 7-day or 5-day or even 3-day auctions, but maybe do a 7-day
All right.
auction. Get
Well,
get the eyes up on it during fight week, and
yeah,
I
man, we'll
think
try that this week and see what happens.
that's a good card to be selling. And you know, I think Roundtree breaking it down. We're not obviously break without. I think that's a good matchup for him. Who knows when he could be fighting Ankalaev next, which would be a worrying fight, to be completely honest. So if you
That's
want to get
kinda why
most,
now I wanna sell
I
it.
think it's a good time to be selling that card. And as I said, run at auction, and it's a good fun. It's good fun if they win.
Yeah, right?
But,
Exactly.
but yeah, it's fun. But yeah, well, that'd be. I'll be super keen to see that one. So stay tuned. That'll be a fun one to see. All right, Zach. We're at the back end of the show now. I've only got a few minutes left, but I just wanted to get your quick thoughts. You did do an awesome video for Knockout release. It's coming out in a couple of days, people. Well, by the time this video is out, Knockout will be just around the corner in a couple of days. So
Yeah, that's
go
crazy.
over, obviously, all Zach's channel details. I really don't feel it. I'd be surprised if there's anyone new. Maybe there are new people here. We appreciate you if you are new and watching all the way to the end. But obviously, all Zach's channel details and content details are in the description below. So go over, check out his channel, all the awesome videos he is putting out on a weekly basis now, like an absolute machine. Forget Marab Davashvili. We have the true machine, Zach, over here. But yeah, you did an awesome video, Zach. I just want to get quick thoughts. Any chase cards from what we've seen from Topps Knockout 2024 yet? Are there any chase cards that you want to maybe look at scooping up?
Yeah, so this was a tough question to answer right now at this moment because obviously we don't have the checklist, right? And anytime we can get, maybe we get a new rookie. Maybe, dude, maybe there's a crazy like Talbot in here. Maybe there's some rookies that we haven't seen. But from what I have seen, obviously the Team Habib triple auto, I think is going to be a really big card, and he's got some of the biggest sales in the space. I think there's a lot of people that are going to want that card. Could potentially be 3 champions from the same team, from the same city on the same card, which it is a sticker, but I still think that's sick. Obviously, I'm a big Habib fan. I'm a big Islam fan, and I've been liking watching Umar's rise as well. So I think that card is gonna be really special and do big numbers if people decide to sell it. So I definitely would want to chase that. From a design perspective, yesterday the Pillars of the Octagon on card auto got released with GSP, and I actually really like that design. It's kind of like the Roman Colosseum pillars on the side with like a black or like a brick background in the back, and kind of just some simple text at the bottom. I think that's a pretty fun card design wise. Also, we have dual autos on this. Now, I don't know if they're on card. Again, we don't know the checklist, but if they are on card dual autos, I think that could be a pretty sick chase as well. How about you? Have you seen any that you're liking so far?
Yeah, obviously, as I said, shout out to your video. That's really the only place that I've ever been able to get all the designs. So that was nice and convenient for me as a viewer to watch. But yeah, great point that you made about just the 3 champs that could potentially be on this triple auto, because that doesn't often happen. You go look at all the triple autos and the booklet autos from times past. It's not always, or I think, I don't even know. That'd be a great thing for us to dive into, actually. If people want to let us know in the comments below, if there is like a triple auto or a booklet auto where all the athletes on there are champions or former champions. Because things are looking good for Umar at the moment. He could easily become champion of the bantamweight division very soon here. And then, as you said, that card, triple auto, 3 of maybe the most dominant champions that the UFC could have. I mean, obviously we're speculating now a little bit. We're going a little bit too far on Umar's side at least, but Khabib, Islam, they're already proven champions, dominant champions. Chuck Umar in there, that could be a massive card. As you said, regardless that it's a sticker auto, that's as good as you're going to get, unless, I think hopefully fanatics are watching at some point here and they're sticking right to the end, because you would think that maybe these UFC events, when you're getting these teams come in, you're getting Islam's fight week, it is quite possible for fanatics to use their magical powers, bring out the wallet, and then get those 3 athletes who are probably all there fight week anyway as a part of that team for that event. They could be getting on-card autos, and that would just be that would
be top of the food chain. That might be a record breaking card, because you're talking about if you could get those 3 guys on, and then in the future when they do this, if they are 3 champions, like that would be a really crazy card.
Yeah. So if you are watching, either Zach or me, get in contact with one of us and we'll help you out. But yeah, the ones that I've seen, as you said, checklist is still to be seen, which is a little bit of a disappointing thing. It's hard to get super excited. I would hope that maybe the checklist is coming, or it already has come out by the time this video comes out, because that is the big differing factor. It's all good for people to look at these designs and be, oh wow, I want that chase card, but people want it for their favorite fighters. But I'm imagining the 2 autos that I like the best. It is the knockout auto. I think that auto is super clean, awesome design. I like the sort of the shadowing octagon in the background that we've seen for the fewer designs. I hope it's like that for all the fighters, because I think that just looks awesome. Obviously directly rated to the UFC, which is what we want. Not only that, there's no gimmicky crap on it. It's just a super clean design. So I'm actually pretty pumped. On card auto, so I'm pretty pumped for that knockout auto. Hopefully, I'll be surprised if we don't have that for either Sean or Max Holloway, which is basically the only 2 active fighters who I'm collecting at the moment. And then the Warriors auto, which I've spoke about before. That auto looks sick. I just think it looks really cool. One of those unique designs, probably far out there for some people. It'd be one of those ones, a little bit like Midnight. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I think that one looks really cool. It kind of reminds me of the old school 90s Gladiators show or something like that. Like, as you said,
Gladiators.
bit of a tint of WWE in there as well, which is something I'm loving at the moment as well. So those 2 products from what I've seen so far, as I said, I think I'll be picking up an auto from those ones as well for my favorite fighters.
Nice, man. Love to hear it.
All right, guys. Once again, thank you, Zach. This has been a pleasure, as it always is.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, and obviously if you're sticking around to the end, for the 2 people sticking around the end, obviously I've been a little bit away from YouTube at the moment. I'll get back to it. I'm not going to go into YouTube and talk about private life, but a little bit of stuff going on here in my private life, and YouTube is not the highest priority that I have. but I will be getting back to it. I've been missing it a lot, but it's just not been the right time for me to be making videos at the moment. But I definitely will be getting back to it. And once I get back, I'll be back to making weekly videos. But for now, as Zac knows, I'm committed to these collabs because I absolutely love them. They're great. Always a pleasure. So Zac, thank you. Go over, if you're new to this UFC card YouTube world, go over, check out Zac's videos. He's doing the best videos there are at the moment. Go subscribe to him, and we'll see you on his channel next collab round. Thanks, Zac.
Thanks, Damien. Always a pleasure, man.